All right, here we go again. So I guess I'll start with the quote that I thought of in this here little notebook that I wrote probably about 4 or 5 years ago. The quote is that which survives the dark. The dark being that place that you find yourself or that you will find yourself, you have found yourself, you will find yourself um, in isolation, seeking out it, trying to understand what it is. So, what I was reading before I decided to run this video, I was looking for some thoughts, something to talk about. This just seemed like it felt right. So, um, the quote was, that which survives the dark in isolation, searching for it. And one of the things that I concluded during one of my isolated moments in the dark was this idea that I'll read off the paper. And I'm probably going to rearrange the words a little bit because I don't like how I wrote them. Remember how you were watered and where you were kept when you were a seed. Remember the emotions that you experienced. Because of those factors, upon reflection of yourself, you will find that you are who you are. And then decide how you want to affect those whose life you have become a part of. After that, seek to create more of those who were and are like the innocent seed that you once were. I think this can tie somewhat back into the philosopher and the beast. I think that when I talk about the beast, there's an automatic, it's implied automatically that the beast maybe has some sort of evil nature, but that is not necessarily the case. I think maybe just modern thought associates automatically beast with destructive, some sort of destruction. But I think of the beast as being more of the primitive thing. But the seed, the seed is the metaphysical, metaphorical representation of what you once were before you became who you currently are as an adult, as a philosopher, as the intellectual being. When I talked earlier or last time about the different types of beasts that become different types of philosophers and me being unable to identify what type of philosopher you will become or what type of intellectual being you will become, much of that is influenced by how you were watered as a seed. And to anyone who may not be clear as to what I mean when I say watered, I'm just saying like, how you were supported, the information that you were given, the emotion that you were given, the treatment that you were given, how you were kept, how you were loved, if you were loved, you know, remember it regardless if you weren't loved. Remember it if you were hated. Remember it if you were the black sheep of the family, if you were the outcast. Um, and when you remember it, because of all of your conclusions, you'll find, I believe, you'll find your reflection in your childhood. And then from there, decide how you want to affect those whose life you become a part of. And this is not limited to the young. This is to everybody that you know. Like, how do you want to treat them? Like I said in a different video, I respect every human being I come across, or at least I make the attempt to, because I know you got to figure it out for yourself, just like me. So I'm not trying to put another roadblock in your way. But decide how you want to be a part of those other people's lives. Um, and I say, seek to create more of those who were and are like the innocent seed that you once were, because I do believe that every human being was once an innocent seed, was had a blank slate. Like there may be some genetic factors into that determine, you know, if you're going to be a quote good person when you grow up. Uh, but I can't speak on that right now. But I do believe that you know children before in their earliest of years, they're open to whatever they're given. They're innocent, and I think they have a greater chance of becoming good people, like well-intended people, people who are willing to play a part of society if they're watered the right way, if they're nurtured the right way. Um, and I just say, seek to create more of those. Like, I'm not saying go out and be a parent. I'm just saying, since I believe we live by example, whatever you think is acceptable. Like, I'm not even saying what is acceptable in modern terms. I'm saying whatever you believe is acceptable, like by the golden rule, like do unto others as you would have others do unto you. If you don't have a problem with somebody doing that to you in your heart of hearts and you think that it's okay, then live by that example. Because I think that for the most part, we live by example. Um, I can think of some examples that I'm not going to say right now about how I modeled myself. I modeled myself by example first. I tried to be what I saw, and I think I tried to do that before I realized that that was what I was doing. Like similar to food, when you first eat, you're probably not eating because you want nutritional value. Maybe even in the beginning, like you're not even trying to eat because you want a certain flavor. You're just eating because your body's like eat, and then eventually you learn to want certain flavors. So I want blueberries, I want bananas, or spinach, you name it. And then it's like I want pizza, and then you get to a stage where what you eat, you start to feel it, or maybe you grew up in a household where you were educated to eat properly or to eat in a way that you intellectually understand helps build you, and you take it from there. So, but yeah, again, I just followed those examples unknowingly until eventually, in isolation or through isolation, in the dark, searching for it, I figured out partially or in part, I remembered how I was watered and where I was kept when I was a seed, both intentionally and unintentionally. I don't think that anybody who ever did me bad or everybody who did bad to me intentionally did bad. Like I think some people were just, you know, remember who you were, like who was the child before the adult, because the adult is still the child. Just time has gone on and much has been added to, but at the core though, like you're the same individual. Um, so I don't think that every adult or every philosopher intentionally tries to um, be more of a negative force to the seeds than a positive force. But anyways, I think that might be where I'll stop this video. Again, just remember how you were watered. Remember where you were kept when you were a seed. Remember the emotions that you experienced, and you'll realize that to some extent that is why you are who you are. And this is probably common knowledge. And if you already know this, I guess I'm not speaking to you because you already know it. This is to those who, like me, were kind of behind and a little slow to catch on. um, and when you realize that, don't let the hate overtake you. It sounds cliche, but go the other way. Seek to create. Uh, and create an environment that promotes health and uh, forward thinking and civilization, you know. Anyways, I think that'll be the video right now.